Hi guys! I've recently been getting lots of comments and questions about what card to use for photography printing, and although I'm not a professional photographer myself, I do offer a range of items that contain personal photography, and so it's an area that I'm definitely experienced in. I'm also a mum with thousands of photos of Chibi Jr. on my phone that I love to print out for ourselves and family. So let's jump in. Whilst you're watching me busily make blanks for today's content, I want to say a huge thank you to Cutz for sponsoring today's video. As regular viewers already know, I am a huge fan of this company. I've used them for over a decade now and their cardstock is always a winner. Not to mention the customer service is some of the best I've experienced business to business. I'm over the moon that such an amazing company wants to partner with me, and I hope you'll check them out if you haven't already. Full links to the products I use are in the description below. These are one of my favourite cards to make as they contain such sweet keepsake photos. I've even had customers order them at A4 size so they can frame the card afterwards. Because I know that this isn't going to be a simple throwaway card but potentially something that is framed and treasured for years, it's really important I get the materials I use right. In the past I've used cardstock from other companies and the prints have faded, which meant that they couldn't be used for framing. I receive so many different types of images to make up the design, and sometimes each has different resolutions and quality. The lighting and colours can be drastically different too. I try not to edit these photos unless the customer specifically asks, as there is usually sentimental emotions attached to the original image. Having such contrasting images on a single print means that card quality is really important. In my experience, the finishes on the Cutz gloss helps to slightly smooth out any photo quality graininess without being noticeable. This means that you get a better quality print that stays true to the original image. Occasionally I will be sent photos that seem to have the colouring in a certain aesthetic. The colours are less saturated and lighter. This means I need to use a different card finish to the usual gloss. Cutz Matte is perfect for this style of photo as it keeps the colours truer to the original, and as the finish reflects less light, it helps to show off the aesthetic without being drowned out by the gloss. When it comes to black and white photography, there's no definite answer. If you have a genuine black and white vintage photo, these can look better on a matte as they're tonally much lighter compared to digitally manipulated images. Modern black and white photos look great on the Cutz gloss as the finish really shows off the range of blacks and greys and gives a greater depth to the image. There have been times where I've printed on a matte card thinking it was the right choice and I've had to reprint on gloss. This is why it's always good to have both in stock and to make sure that you factor in reprint costs when you're setting prices for your items. It's hard to see on film as digital video capture has a tendency to blend subtle differences to make footage more appealing to the eye, but in real life you can definitely see how the same photographs can look so different just printed on a gloss or a matte finish. Both the matte and gloss have instant dry printing, which means that they're not going to smudge either in the printer or when you handle them. The gloss finish is also waterproof, which is great for cards, and both come in a variety of different thicknesses. I personally really enjoy the research and development part of creating items, but I understand that not everyone does. That's why I make these videos, to share my findings with you, so you don't have to recreate all of my experiments yourself. That said, I definitely would encourage you to have a play and to test things out for yourself. It's how you'll pick up new skills, and it can also lead to new ideas and methods of creating things that you may not have thought of. I'm actually updating our gallery wall at home as we've recently redecorated, and I want to show off some of our family photo shoot images we've had with the amazing photographer Tim Churchill. When Chibi Jr. was small, I used to buy my photos, but quickly realised that they cost an absolute fortune when you want to print every precious newborn memory, and you're pretty stuck with sizes. This can be difficult when you're trying to fit a special frame that has an odd size, or you want to constantly update your displayed photos. Since I discovered how great the quality of photos printed on Cutz card is, I've basically been able to completely stop paying for prints, and I can create them in any size too. When I was recently taking down our family gallery wall to redecorate, I noticed that a few photos that had been in the sun for the last 3 years were fading. I thought that all of the faded images would be the ones that I'd printed at home. But, interestingly, some of them were actually professionally printed and they had faded the same amount as my at-home printed ones. Another great use for the Cutz gloss finish is digital scrapbooking. When Chibi Jr. was a baby, I was determined to go old school and fill up photo albums with physical photos. I spent hours poring over albums and even brought some. Do you know how many albums I completed? None. They're still sat on my shelf empty 8 years on. Digital scrapbooking is more of an American trend, but it's really fun. I like that you can theme the pages and have cute keepsakes of special moments like holidays and Christmas. We were gifted a lovely printed photo book of our trip to Lapland last year, and it's definitely something we treasure. Having these printed though is actually really expensive, and they are just books filled with photos with no cute little embellishments or designs either. I like the fact that you can use the free templates on Canva to create your own and tweak the designs to suit your taste. I'm a person that is so fearful of making the wrong decision that I will agonise over things for hours. I don't even use up stickers that I really love as I'm terrified of wasting them by placing them somewhere I regret. I love the fact that I can tweak every single element in digital scrapbooking, and then if it doesn't look right after it's printed, I can change it up and print it again. For a perfectionist like me, it helps me overcome the fear of failure, and I can just have fun. And just look at how amazing it looks on this paper Cutz gloss. You could easily make a variation of these as personalised Christmas cards to either sell or to send out to family and friends. As you can see, printing physical photos at home can be used in a variety of different ways. And I really hope that seeing me share how well the paper Cutz gloss and matte cardstock works has helped to take the headache out of creating perfect prints for you. If you're stuck on what printer settings to use, then check out my last video where I show you the settings for both matte and gloss in Affinity Designer with a Canon IP8750. Now is actually a great time to stock up on paper Cutz as they have free postage and some amazing deals on. I've dropped some links for you in the description box down below. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. I'm almost at 2K and completely over the moon. It really does mean so much to me when I get all of your lovely comments and messages. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye!